guys, I've got Pierce here with me. He's done his school this morning for the most part. How was your virtual learning today, Pierce?
It's been good, and we learned a lot when we were doing Movie Max. Even though I didn't like it, I tried hard and got some game time done and did some bounce and some spiders. And that's part of the games of game time. And I played Golf Blast before. It's a game where you try and get a hole in one, and you'll get, if you get it in once, that's a hole in one. If you get it in two, you did great. And if you get it in the third time, you did nice.
All right. Well, thanks for that. You can go play now.
Okay.
All right. So now you have met Pierce and heard his take on virtual learning. I don't think it's as fun when your mom's also a teacher, but we got it done. You heard him say, and I hope you heard him say he didn't like one part of it, but he had to do it anyway. So even if you don't like it, you still got to do it. Okay, so this is, I think, day 3 video about positive, negative numbers on a number line, integers, and in your packet it also talks a little bit about opposites. I'm going to talk about all 3 of those things today. I have watched the Khan Academy videos, and I have done some of the interactive stuff on that. I know for this one, it's like, when I assigned it, it was like 16 things. So I went and made sure some of them are like just 4 questions, you know, things like that. So it's not a ton of work on Khan Academy, but it is really good on Khan Academy. We are working, Mr. Crosby from the technology department has come up with a way for us to do live chats with you, video chats, if you feel like that's something you would like to do. I'm going to send more information out about that later this week. Today is Monday, so technically you've not started your digital learning or your virtual learning yet. Ms. Smith and I tested it out this morning. It went really well. So if you think you might need some help with that, we can always set up video chats, things like that. So you'll be hearing more about that through Remind, maybe phone calls on Google Classroom, things like that. All right, now let's get to what we're learning about. Okay, positive and negative numbers on a number line. We've done this already, so this should be a review for you. We talked about positive and negative numbers on a number line when we graphed with inequalities. Okay, let me look at my notes. And on the Khan Academy, it has you placing them there. Let me go to, my screen, sorry. All right, so on my screen, let me see which one I want. Okay, yeah, so here we have a number line. We drew these when we were doing those things. And you know, it's just putting them in order on a number line. Let me look at your work real quick. It is not too bad, I don't think. One thing, so I don't think we're gonna have any problems with the graphing on a coordinate, or not graphing on a coordinate plane. Excuse me, sorry. Putting numbers on a number line. Actually, in your packet, it doesn't even have a number line. It just kind of talks to you a little bit about on numbers 1 through 4. It says locate each integer and its opposite on a number line. What is each integer's location in relation to 0? So like number 1 says 4. Okay. So basically what it's asking you here is, what is the integer's location in relation to 0? Well, positive 4 is 4 to the right. Okay. So for that one, you would say 4 is 4 units to the right. And then it asks you something about opposites. Okay, so let me go back to this other screen real quick. All right, so opposites. And I wish there was some way I could mark on this, but I can't. Maybe I'll figure it out one day. All right, so it says on the horizontal number line, plot 7 and negative 7. So 7 is going to be right here, guys. Negative 7 is going to be right here. And then it says, what is the distance of each point from 0? Okay, well, from 7 to 0 is 7 units. And from negative 7 to 0 is 7 units. We could count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Now, here's the deal with opposites. 7 and negative 7 are opposites. They are what we call opposite numbers. If we were to fold this number line up at 0, everything that touched would be considered an opposite. So negative 1 and positive 1 are opposites. Negative 2 and positive 2 are opposites. Anything that touches. So if it's a positive number, its opposite is going to be negative. If it's a negative number, its opposite is going to be positive. That also works with variables. Okay, if I had a negative x, the opposite would be positive x. Okay, so that's really all you need to know about opposites. Now there is one question on your packet about opposites that's thought-provoking. And it says, it's number 10 on page 84, and it said, what is the opposite of any integer? Okay, an integer is just a positive or negative whole number. That's all that is. Okay. So what is the opposite of any integer? I'm going to let you think on that. When you think you have it, message me or Miss Wyckoff, okay? Because it's just interesting. I want to see if y'all can figure that one out. It's not hard. You just got to think for a minute. All right. So like number 5 on your packet on page 84, it says find the opposite of each number. Okay. Woo, that's a little tough. Not tough. It's a lot to think about. So the opposite of each number. So let me show you. Let me get my thing out. All right. Here we go. So the opposite would be, the opposite of negative 2 would be positive 2. And then we find the opposite of that. So the opposite of 2 would be negative 2. So the opposite of negative 2 would be 2. And it gives you a hint on there. It says first find the opposite of the number, then find the opposite of the opposite. Okay. I don't know. I'm going to be honest. I don't know in the real world where you're ever going to use that. But 6th grade standards say we have to know about opposites. Okay. Then there's also the other topic on there are integers, real world integers. Let me erase this. All right, real world integers. And I have a paper that I want to share with you to talk about those. Let me go. Here it is. All right. So here's the situation. A football team lost 45 yards on the 3rd down. Okay. We would call this negative yardage if you watch football. Okay. Could have been the quarterback was sacked. So we would represent that as negative 45. Now to write negative 45, we just write minus 45. Okay. Oops, that negative sign you can't see very well. So that's negative 45. Okay. That's all it's asking you about there to talk about a positive integer or negative integer. All right. Let's go back. Jonathan earned $60 mowing lawns this last weekend. Well, when you think about money, is that what he has or is that what he owes? Well, it's what he has, so it would be a positive integer. And all you would have to do to write a positive integer is we don't always, like every number you've worked with up until pretty much unit 4 this year was a positive. So you would just write $60, okay? There's no positive sign in front of it, but we know that it would be a positive integer, okay? If there's no sign in front of it, you know it's positive. All right. Let me think. Let me get back here. Okay. Alice descended. Now we gotta know what those words mean. Descended. Okay. Ascended means to go up, to descend means to go down. So she went down 20 feet below the ocean surface, or the surface of the ocean. So that's negative 20. Temperature dropped to 15 degrees below zero, negative 15. James withdrew, that means he took out. So negative 125. After paying his last bill, Dwight owes zero on his credit card. So that'd just be zero. Zero is kind of a neat number. It's not positive, it's not negative. Okay, so it doesn't have any value, so it can't be positive or negative. Okay. Robert deposited $37 into his account. He put it in there, so that would be a positive 37. Elizabeth hiked a mountain which was 1,287 feet above sea level. So that's positive 1,287. The company lost $5,394. So that's negative 5,394. And then Carly's dog gained 10 pounds. So that would be a positive. Okay. When you're working on numbers 11 through 22, all you're doing is writing down the integer. If it's positive, you just write down the number. If it's negative, you're going to write down a minus and the number. So like 11 says 30 feet below sea level, that would be minus 30 or negative 30. All right, and that's all there is to it. If you get confused on the opposites, let us know. Okay, Miss Wyckoff and I will be more than happy to help you. We can video chat with you if you want to, and that might be the easiest way to explain that. But that's all I have for day 3. I hope everyone is doing well, and I will see you soon, hopefully. Bye, guys.